Welcome to the desert of the real.
I was looking at the Forbes top 400 billionaires, and when I scanned through that list, when you talk about the Oprah Winfrey's and the Bob Johnsons, um, the money that they have, their estimated worth is about anywhere between $1 to $2 billion. If you want to talk about like big willie black men, I mean, I'm talking about like major long money, then you would have to look at Aliko Dangote from Nigeria, who's about worth $13 billion. He's actually richer than, in terms of personal wealth, than Mark Zuckerberg. But you look at him, it's like one spot of pepper in a sea of salt. You got Europeans and Asians and Mexicans and make up the bulk of that list, and Indians making up the bulk of that list. The top 20, top 15. And I raise that point just to say that as rich and as powerful as Aliko Dangote is, he still comes from an impoverished group. And when you look at those 400 billionaires, you can count how many of them are black on your hands. And until we can show the world and show ourselves that we are a powerful people and can produce powerful people in the same amount of numbers that everybody else is producing them, then that kind of shoots the whole individualism thing in the foot. Because this guy, like I said, um, he's a single African individual with $13.5 billion dollars in personal wealth. But even as rich as he is, and as long as that money is, it does not translate to him eliminating the fact that he's from a powerless people. So either we're going to start thinking systematically and start thinking nationhood and start thinking structures and organizations. Because if you have a centralized organization that these other little operations are feeding into, is much more effective than individual solo spies working for themselves, and our organization is kind of like ad hoc. Like we agree on some things, we disagree on others. We don't have no code of ethics, we don't have no bylaws or whatever. No, nothing that we can say is tangible and concrete. Everything is a vague abstraction, and I'm really, really sick and tired of these vague abstractions. If we want to talk about seriously holding power, because European power is not a vague abstraction. You know what I'm saying? The power of the Chinese is not a vague abstraction. The power of the Indians or the people in India is not a vague abstraction. It's tangible. You can point to this. And well, you know what? I'm gonna save that for another video. I'm not even gonna go there. But the point that I'm making is you have all of these individuals out here trying to act as if they're moving the chess pieces around and interacting with this system for the benefit of the whole, yet they refuse to be a part of a whole. And I think I understand. This is my take on why I think that dynamic exists. Because it's easier to talk about the system, and it's easier to, feint or feign like you're actually a revolutionary and against the system, than to actually be a part of an organization. Because if you're a part of an organization, then you have what they call accountability. If there is no organization, then you don't have to be held accountable for anything. And if you notice, I did a video called the 72-hour rule. Totally went silent. And you know why? Wasn't a popular video? Because it was about accountability. It was about looking at the way that we interact with each other on a conflict resolution level, and it gave us a code on how to handle conflict resolutions amongst people on the same team. Not many people co-signed that. There were a few that jumped in, and I appreciate the brothers and sisters who did. But not many people jumped on that. And you know why? Because whenever you start talking about accountability, that's when you Negroes start getting silent. And that's the reason why nobody wants a nation. Because right now it's the Wild Wild West. Anything goes. You can go out there and you can say anything. You can go out there, you can promise anything. If you don't keep your promises, oh, well, no problem. People don't fear us. They don't fear black people. And I'm talking about black people don't fear black people. The people that say that they're black and that represent us do not fear us. So they know that they can get out there and make all kinds of promises. They know that they can get out there and pimp us. Because what's going to happen? What's going to be the repercussions? There are none. So that's how I feel about this moving the chess pieces around. You know what I'm saying? Like this, we're playing 3D chess against the white supremacist system. We want to engage in political affairs without having a nation. That like I said, it's like performing open heart surgery and you never had any medical training. How do you think that's going to turn out? If you truly want to interact with the political system and back Barack Obama, then back Barack Obama as a nation of people. You got to have some cultural cohesion, a socio-economic and political infrastructure. You have to have something tangible that you can point to. If we're going to go out and we're going to infiltrate into white corporations, then we should be reporting that information back to our nation, our central intelligence agency of our nation. Or else, what you got is a bunch of Negroes out here on solo missions, pretending like they're working in our interest, and just using us and the numbers of our people like a cattle count or fuel to further their own personal agenda. And I'm not down with that. If you want to go on a personal agenda, because one thing I will say is true, and this is 100% true. If an individual decides that they're going to go on a personal mission for themselves, they will accomplish that goal. I will not argue with anybody who says that individualism doesn't lead to you personally gaining whatever it is that you want to gain on a personal level. I don't believe that anybody can stop you from doing what you want to do. But the issue that I have is you can take a seed, plant it in soil, fertile soil, or seeds, and that seed has a chance to grow because it's in fertile soil. Or you can take a seed and throw it into a swamp and rely upon that seed's own personal strength and willpower to rise up in opposition of its environment. Which one seems like a more plausible way to do things, a more efficient and effective way to do things? Which seems to be a more efficient and effective way to produce more and more plants? Fertile soil or a swamp? I'm for the fertile soil. But you got people out here endorsing the power of the individual. Put that seed in the swamp and that seed will fight all adversity and rise to the occasion. Well, you know what? It may just do that. But it'll be that one seed. Right now, we need many plants, many flowers, much growth. And if you want major growth and truly effective growth, then you have to make the soil fertile for that growth to take place. I don't understand why I keep saying these same things over and over again in these videos, but I don't know how. Maybe I'm not intelligent or articulate enough to put it in a way that people can understand, but I don't know how else to say it. I've given analogy after analogy. I've tried to break it down as simply as I can. We cannot do this shit as individuals, scattered individuals. And then when I say come together, let me be clear. I am not talking about everybody coming together inside of our nation. I'm talking about the people that know what time it is, and that's a very small percentage. The people that are African centered, the people that acknowledge the motherland as the base of operations for anything that we are trying to do. If you off into the atmosphere on some Arab shit or some Abrahamic religion shit, listen, that's your personal thing. But I really, like I don't see us really making much progress with religious thinking minds. That's just me personally. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. But that's another video. Anyway, I just wanted to address that move in the chess pieces around, that 3D chess that people think that they're playing with the system. If we really want to be serious, it's nationhood time. That's all I got to say about that. Talk to you good people later. Peace.